Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Hiya Toys Robocop ED-209, or ED-209. I call it Ed. And this thing is maybe one of the best things they've produced ever. They've done some really nice things with Predators and Aliens. That seems to be their wheelhouse. They've done a lot of superhero stuff that has sometimes been okay, but mostly it's been more of a miss than a hit. But this thing right here is one of the most impressive 1/18th scale things I've ever seen. It's very, very, very well done. So I'm happy to show it to you. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 4.5 inches, right around there. And that's going to make him pretty close to, let's say, 14 centimeters. Now you can extend the legs and it'll get taller and you can move it around a little bit. So, you know, it'll be a little bit different than that sometimes, depending on how you have it posed. But that'll give you a good idea. And this thing is just gorgeous. Before we get into this review, though, let me do a quick question of the day. Are you a Robocop fan? I'm assuming you are, so you don't really have to answer that. But did you enjoy Robocop 2? Because for me, Robocop 2 is one of the worst movies of all time. And Robocop 1 is not as good as I remembered, but it's good enough. I guess Robocop himself is pretty cool, but the movie, not so great. Anyway, their Robocop figure was actually really solid, and now we have an ED-209, which goes with him, and it is so well done. Let's just look at the detail. Let's get into the aesthetic. Look at the little details on the arms. Very well painted, very well sculpted. The little wires, those are actual, I mean, I don't know if they're wires, they might just be plastic, but they're individual pieces. Very nicely done. Little bits of shading throughout around the rivets and screws and washes and all kinds of different paint jobs. There's dry brushing in there. Even inside the feet you see some extra little wires. I think those are actually molded on. But it's just loaded with detail. It's very, very nicely done. This arm has the wires also. Very pleased with the way this came out. On top we have some more. Really nice looking figure. I don't know that they could have done anything better. It's great. It's got a nice matte finish other than the metallic parts. It's good. This is more of like a satin finish. Very, very cool looking. So from an aesthetic standpoint, I don't think they could have done much better. I'm going to give it a... For the size... Yeah, I'm going to go 10 out of 10. I don't know what they could have done to make it any better in terms of the aesthetic. It looks really, really good. Obviously, there are no accessories, so that's going to be a 0 out of 10. And now we can talk about the articulation, which is minimal, but it is not a humanoid, so that's understandable. But actually, before we get into that, I do want to show you one thing. He has batteries and a button right here, and what he does is it talks and makes gun noises and things like that, the things you would expect him to do. It sounds pretty good. It's not as loud as I would like, though, so I'm going to hold it up to the microphone. So that was like a couple of different noises and some walking. That was one button press. Here's another. Okay, there's another one. The voice part is really quiet. The shooting one's kind of loud. Alright, and that's the first sound again, so I'll just stop it there. So yeah, the sound effects are pretty good. They seem to be movie accurate. The only issue I really have is that the voice one is very, very quiet, very low. So that's a bit of a bummer. But hey, I don't think you're going to be pressing that button all the time, so I suppose that's not that big of a deal. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. We have these little flaps up here that move up and down. The arms rotate at the shoulder, if you want to call it that. Obviously the elbow. And then they also rotate here, so you can move these around. I believe it's meant to be like this. Yeah. So those work. Obviously the head rotates side to side. The hips function as you would expect them to. The ankles have a little bit of range, not a whole lot, but it is there, so that's pretty good. That's helpful. They do rotate. Where do they rotate? Right here. I don't know how helpful that's going to be. Maybe I don't remember if it like falls over or something at one point. I mean, I know it does, but maybe that's helpful for that. But then you also get this feature, which I don't remember that being a thing, but I don't know. It's been a while since I watched this. But yeah, you also have that. So it's not bad. Like, it's not going to be the most posable thing, but there's no way it could have been. It's a bipedal robot with giant chicken legs and a little head. So, I mean, it's exactly what you would expect it to be. I think it's going to definitely serve the purpose for this scale collection for the Robocop figures, or just to have a nice little, if you like ED-209 as a design, I don't want to say a character, but if you like the design, this is going to look good on your shelf. It looks really nice. It's very well executed. I'm completely pleased with it, and I think anybody who gets it will be also. And I don't think there's too many options out there for this guy, so yeah, if you wanted one, then here you go. It's a good option. I definitely recommend it. Full marks. I'm going to go ahead and give the articulation I don't know, a 6 out of 10. The ratings don't really matter for this thing because it's not like a real action figure per se. So the aesthetic's really the most important one, and I think, would I give it a 10 or a 9? I think I give it a 10. So yeah, it's really good. I'm going to give it an overall rating of 8, just because the sound bites aren't as loud as they probably should be. Especially the talking one, which is probably the most recognizable one that people would want to hear. So that's a bit of a bummer, but the aesthetic is great, and it has enough articulation to get it by, which is what you would expect. So I definitely recommend it. You guys can let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And if you want to, you can give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, and if you didn't, you can give it a thumbs down and let me know why you did that in the comment section below. But otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel, so make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.